I'm going to go over an e-bike that I've been using off and on for, I don't know, maybe 2 to 3 months now, and been very impressed with it. Let me just show you what this is. This is the Mokwheel, or Mokwheel, maybe some call it, and this one is the Obsidian. The Obsidian ST, and the ST stands for step through model, not to be confused with the high step model. The high step has a bar that runs from here to here, and the step through is where, you know, you can put your foot in and out of it like that. Makes it a little easier for getting on and off. And this is their full suspension model. You know, I've had this thing, I took it camping with me, did some riding around the campground, up and down hills. It worked just fine for that. I actually went on a trail ride and found some sand, went through some sand. This thing handled everything I threw at it. I was very impressed with it. So first off, let's talk about colors. This is their kind of dual tone color. They also have a blue, and they look like some sort of real tree, kind of mossy oak camouflage one. I see no issues with the paint or anything like that. I do have a few little scratches on it from where I've been using it and hitting it on things, but other than that, I think it's held up extremely well, and it looks good. Doesn't that just look good sitting there like that? So when I got it in, it was very nicely packaged. It was foamed out nicely, and I see no issues at all. And as far as assembly, they had me put on the front tire, the handlebars, and the seat, and the fenders, and a few other little small kind of things and some adjustments, and I was ready to go, and the battery was almost fully charged. So overall of that, very impressive. Good job on Mokwheel for making it pretty easy for the average person to put a whole bike together and get out on the trail almost instantly. Okay, so now let me just go ahead and talk about rider height. So what they've rated this thing is from anyone from 5'6" to 6'8" as far as a rider height, and it's actually kind of a big bike, which I kind of see that. So if you're under 5'6", you might be struggling a little bit on this. I'm right at about 5'11", so I hit it in the perfect spot where I feel it carries me very well. And the overall, you know, going over the reach here, it's 24.8 on the reach. The step over height is 19 inches down here on the bottom, and the saddle height from when it's in its lowest position is around about 41 inches. And the total length of the bike is around a little over 79 inches as far as overall length. So it's not a gigantic bike, but I would consider it a big medium bike, if that makes any sense to you. So the battery is an integrated battery. You got a key to take it off, so you can remove this battery. It's a removable battery, and the size on this battery is a 48 volt, 19.6 amp hour, and the overall range on this thing, they have up to 80 miles, which I think you can easily get 50 miles of this. 80's pushing it. There's one thing going on with this. This is a torque sensor, not a cadence sensor. You want to know the difference between a torque sensor and a cadence sensor? A cadence sensor works as soon as you turn the pedals, the motor kicks in. A torque sensor only gives you power as you need it. So the more pressure you put down on the pedals, the more power you're going to generate out of the motor. And so that way it actually helps kind of lengthen the battery, and it gives you a more cleaner kind of like power transfer from the pedals to the motor. I love a torque sensor. I haven't used one much, but when I do use it, I absolutely love it. Highly recommend a torque sensor over a cadence sensor. But you know what? Cadence sensors work, just a torque sensor is better, in my opinion. Okay, now let's go back here to the muscles of this thing. This is a 1,000 watt motor, continuous power, 1,000 watt. Peak power, they rated up to 1,460. It seems to be branded Mokwheel on it, so they have their branding on it. Their claimed torque out of this is 105 Newton meters of torque. So if you guys know anything about e-bike motors, that's a very high torquey motor. So the actual overall weight of the bike is 77 pounds. For rider weight, you can go up to 350 to 400 pounds, somewhere in that range right there. Top speed on this thing, it's a class 2 e-bikes. If you guys see that right there, what is class 2 e-bikes? You know, 1,000 watt, 20 miles per hour. That's where a class 2 caps out, but there is a setting in here to go bring it up to class 3. So you can get up to 28 miles an hour, but believe it or not, I've got it up over 40 miles an hour with a slight incline and really pumping these pedals, but I can easily get it up to around about 30 miles per hour pretty easy with throttle or pedal. Okay, so there's all the rider height, the specs and all that. Let me go ahead and start covering those components. I will kind of do a rapid fire of the components on here, then I'll do a quick ride test for y'all. Okay, starting back here at this back tire, these are Chow Yang hippo skin tires, which are some of the best tires I think you can get on a fat tire e-bike. These are 26 by 4, meaning they're 4 inches that way, 26 inches that way. Very good tires. I feel that these things they hold up really well, and they have reflective striping built in. I always like it when they put reflective striping on there. It has these plastic fenders. These fenders you're going to have to put on yourself. They are adjustable. This was very interesting. You can loosen that bolt and adjust this fender up and down. That was kind of cool. The transmission on this thing is a Shimano, and the shifter is a Shimano Altus. This is an 8-speed shifting transmission. They do give you this little chain guard right here. That was kind of cool to put that on, and you see how I put it on? It goes around and goes like that. It was a little bit confusing because they don't cover on how to put that on, but that works extremely well. I rode it some without it, and it just beat all that up because that chain is very close to that. So I recommend putting that on. 44 tooth crank in the front. Okay, if you notice right here, this is a full suspension bike, so it has a shock here in the middle, and you can see max PSI is 275 PSI. It is an adjustable right here. You'll take that off, and if you got a shock pump, you can adjust it. And there's all this specs are in the owner's manual on what to do, and there is a lockout feature and a unlock feature. I love that. That is very impressive on a step-through bike like that they have a full suspension shock on there. This is one of the better full suspension bikes I've ridden in my e-bike reviews here. I was very impressed with that. So now moving up here to the seat. The seat has a kind of a manual dropper post built in. Check this out. How cool is that? That was impressive. It has an adjustable up and down right here. You can see I go a little higher with my seat. I like getting full-on leg extension on there. To turn it on, you basically hit the side right there. This is not an integrated tail light. I'd like to see an integrated tail light, but you know what? This works just fine. It can turn either vertical or horizontal like that. I run it just like that under the adjustment lever right there. I don't see any issues at all with that tail light. It does have several little functions on it. It can flash and go through different little functions. One thing I did find out, it got loose on me, and there's a little set screw right there. I don't know how well you can see it, but there's a little set screw there, and I tried tightening it up, but mine won't get any tighter. I didn't fix it because I wanted to show you guys in this video something that might happen. I think what I'm going to have to do is take that set screw out and drill it and tap it and put me a bigger screw in there. But I mean, it's nothing major, but it's just an annoyance how it just kind of moves a little bit from side to side. Here's the actual charge port for the battery. You see that, but then you're looking over here and you see this charge. Believe it or not, this actually has a power inverter and a full-on solar panel where you can charge this thing using just, you know, the sunshine can charge your e-bike, and you have a power inverter for when you're camping. I will do a full-on video covering that feature because I have it, and it is very impressive how nice and neat this inside the frame cord management is. Can you even see any cords? Tell me where the cords are. You see the battery cable over here, but look how nice and clean all of these cords go. Very nice on that. There is an available front basket. That's what those inserts are up here. A little headlight. They have these dual headlights on here that has these 2 LEDs and a reflector. I have an aftermarket headlight. I took it off for this video, but I usually run that, and then it works way better, 1,000 times better than one of these guys right here. So the brakes on this thing is 180 millimeter hydraulic disc brakes. Check these out. These are TEKTRO. There is taps right here for a water bottle holder. I have not installed it yet. The front fork is I think it's 130 millimeter of travel. It has a lockout right here, so you can lock it out, and it gives you a nice click. Plus and minus right there. You want to lock it completely out, go all the way over there. I run mine about right in the middle, and that thing seems to work just fine. So let's move on up here to the cockpit or the handlebar area, and let me go over this. They have these little like cushiony gel ball beads right there. This is an ergo hand grip. Very nice. It actually rides right in the middle of your palm right there. These are some of the best hand grips I've ever seen on an e-bike. They were on the Mokwheel Basalt, and I was very impressed with them. Good job on Mokwheel for putting these on there. They are locking, so there's locking hand grips. It's nothing worse than hitting a bump and then your hand grip turns right there. The levers were kind of small, but they're just big enough for 2 fingers. And because it is hydraulic, it doesn't take much, everybody. Just that much will actually stop this. That's the advantage of hydraulic over mechanical disc brakes, is because of the fact you can hit that and you just stop on a dime, like no problem. Left-handed thumb throttle. right there. You can, I think it says what, 2 Newton meters, so just 2. So for all of you stout people out there, be careful because this is plastic. You don't want to break that off. I like these types of shifters. Thumb goes that way, thumb shifts down, and the finger will shift up. I did have to move this. You notice one thing I recommend everybody do is move this, because see this right here, when you're riding and you hit something, that goes right in the back of your hand. So I moved mine in just slightly. All right, so moving on to the display here. So the controls, you're going to hold down the upper one is the power button. Hold it down. It's a very slow come on. Watch it, everybody. I don't know how well you can see it. See it popping on, hello. It has a hello there. And look how nice that display is. This is a nice color display. You have the speed, the tripometer, the eco mode, the PSA mode you're in, and the time that you're running right there. And to go up, you're going to go up on the controls here. There's an up and a down and a headlight. So to turn the headlight on, you hit that button. You see the headlight is on. The tail light, you're gonna have to reach back here and turn it on with your thumb. But then there's another setting. If you hold down the bottom and top right here, you go into this mode right here. You can see top speed. Look at that, top speed, 43.4 miles an hour. Average speed, 1 mile an hour. How about that? 6.4 to get here. And you see very nice display. Hit it to go back. There is a cruise control. You hold down, that's the cruise control in there. I will cover this in the ride test, but I just wanted to show y'all real quick the actual display. There is some settings. There's a horn on it. You can hear the horn. There's a walk mode. You hold down the bottom and watch. It will go in this walk mode. It will take off. We don't want to send it in a lake or the pond. I wouldn't consider this a lake. I'd say that's a pond. But as far as displays goes, this is one of the better displays. If there was one gripe of mine, I'd like to see a percentage instead of this battery. This is your battery on the outside, and there's a power meter that goes up. Let me put it all the way. Watch this, everybody. Let's see how fast this thing will go. Look at that speed. 33 miles an hour, and you see it goes in power mode when you go up. So there's full speed on there. Now that's without a load. You can see that right there. There's the specs, the overall component breakdown and all that. Let's get this thing out on the trail. Let me give you guys a ride test and give you my final thoughts and what I thought of this thing. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead. Let's put this thing to the test. So number one, always wear your helmet. What I'm going to do for y'all first is I'm going to do a little off-road riding. So I'm going to hit a little bit of off-road. Let's turn this thing on. I just had it off. It's got a slow turn on, so let's just go straight to 5 and let's get out of here. And I'm going to use the throttle. See, that full suspension just takes that like it's nothing, everybody. There's a little off-road trail back this way that I'm going to hit first. I think this is the perfect bike for the mixture of off-road meets on-trail. So let's go this way. There's a hill right up here. Check it out. This is throttle only, everybody. Look at that. The amount of torque that this thing has for its throttle. Let's go back down. Let's try that again. There's a lot of leaves here, so I don't want to do a wipe out. You can hear the fenders have a little bit of noise to them. So watch this thing just eat up these roots and all of this. Full throttle. To me, this is where this bike shines the most. Obviously, if you're looking, this is not, I wouldn't consider this like stout mountain biking right here, but you know what? For the average person, I think this is pretty stout. And the fact I can throttle and go almost 30 miles an hour out here, 30 miles per hour on this little trail is actually hauling some serious tail. Whoa, this is, ooh, yeah, here we go. By the way, we had a hurricane here, so there's a lot of tree roots down and all that on our trails. Oh, this trail's shut down. We're out here in this little frisbee golf area. Check this out. Woo! Oh, I ain't jumping that. That's a little high. You know, I got a trip coming up. I don't want to get too crazy on this. You know, mountain bikes are usually a good injury for kayakers, that's for sure. I could easily send that, but I'm not going to send it on this one. Oh, low headache here. This is like a service road. You can ride the entire golf course and all around here. Just don't get hit in the head with a golf ball. But you got a helmet on, so you'll be fine. Now let me go ahead and show you guys the exact power and how it rides as far as like pedal assist 1, 2, 3, and we'll use it as a normal bike. So let's do that now. Okay, so what I did, I'm gonna go down to 0. So I'm on 0 here. Let's go ahead and just ride this thing as a normal bike. I am in gear 1 here. Everybody, as far as a normal bike, it kind of feels just like a normal fat tire e-bike. I don't see any issues at all. You can go through the shifting there. Like I said, you can ride this just as a bike and get a great workout in because of the weight of this thing. Just, it's almost like, it's like jogging with ankle weights on is the way I compare riding fat tire e-bikes with no motor assist. It's just like a good workout for the legs. I've ran out of battery power before, and I've ridden these fat tire e-bikes, you know, 20 miles, just the way they are. You get used to it. If you're in decent shape, you can ride an e-bike like this with no motor. I can turn it completely off and go nothing. Okay, so now I'm up here on the main road. So I wanted to get off the trail because I don't like going super fast on the trail. I have my phone up that has my app on it. So let's go ahead, let's verify what this thing can actually do as far as top speed with that. And we can also see if that, how accurate that speedometer is. So we'll start out, actually let's start out in throttle only. So here we go, throttle only, coming from a dead stop. Well, the speedometer jumps faster than the GPS. GPS is locking on. Looks to be fairly consistent, 28, 29 there. 29.530, this is throttle only. Very nice, this has a lot of power, everybody. I'm very impressed with this. 29, so it looks like they're within 1 mile, which is, to me, as doing e-bikes, that's pretty fair. We can call it 29 miles an hour, 28 as far as the GPS, as far as throttle only. So now what I'm gonna do is just go pedal assist 1, and I'm in gear 6. Let's go that, gear 6. Pedal assist, once again, this is a torque sensor, so it's only gonna go as much power as I give it. And it's very deceptive with these because honestly, 1 through 5 just means it's the amount of power that the motor is gonna push out. That's all that means. You're not gonna be, unlike a cadence sensor, it's more important on cadence sensor but see, I'm in 1 and I can easily pedal harder and I can go 20, which is really fast for 1. But I feel like I'm putting more effort. So let's go 2. 2, I can't really tell that much of a difference between 2. 3, I feel a little bit of bump in 3. Yeah, there's more power with 3. I'm not pedaling as hard with 3. Pedal assist 4. I feel that it's given 80% power and the rest are coming from my legs down here. I would say that's 80-20 as far as power from the motor from my legs. And I can hold 28 easily. Complete stop, pedal assist 5, so taking off. See, I kicked it hard, so wow, that actually, you can feel, it almost leans you back a little bit. Go up, you can see it went straight power mode. This thing gets up fast in pedal assist 5, I like that. Lock this shock out. Lock that one out. Lock that one out. There it is. We're gonna give it all the beans. 30, 31. We got 30 on that. This has a very smooth and clean power delivery. It's not like jarring. You know, it's not like all power. Check it out. Just barely go with the pedals. Go. Now go hard with the pedals. Full power. That thing works. That torque sensor actually works. brake right here. Nice. And it didn't even take that much squeezing to get them to compress, because they are hydraulic brakes. Okay, I'm going to say it's safe to say that it'll easily hit 30 miles per hour in pedal assist 5. Now what I have is a little bit of a steep incline. I'm thinking this is probably 15% incline. Let's do throttle only all the way up it. So check this out. Throttle only up this incline. It's hard to say, it's hard to show in camera how steep this is, but trust me, riding a bike up this is not easy. Look at this, everybody. 20, almost 20 miles an hour going uphill on this motor. Very impressive. 21 on the GPS, 22 going uphill. That suspension just eats this up. These back roads like this is where this thing excels so well. All these roots, look at that. Hits these little shortcuts like they're nothing. Okay, everybody, final thoughts here on the Mokwheel Obsidian ST. Oh, where do I start on this one? We'll start out with the pros. So right away, the pros of this thing, the motor is very powerful. 1,000 watt motor, super powerful, 105, well over 100 Newton meters of torque. And I believe it because it took me up some pretty steep hills with no problems. I didn't feel it bogging down at all. The brakes were hydraulic brakes. They stop very easily. I was impressed with the stopping power of that. The full suspension is really good on this. Obviously, I've ridden some very premium high-end full suspension bikes. So this right here, I would say is a good mid-grade full suspension. The this middle shock is actually really good. Good job on that. The lockout feature works. The shock absorbs a lot of the cushion on those trails. I was hitting a lot of roots and all that. The front fork could be a little bit better, but I think it's adequate for what it is. I see no issues with that. The overall build quality of this thing is very impressive. Good job. This is one of the better build qualities on a kind of hybrid mountain bike / e-bike. One of the better ones out there, in my opinion, and I've ridden a lot of them, so I might know a little bit what I'm talking about. Has a nice ergonomics to it. You sit very close to the handlebars from here to here. All of the controls worked really well. This was very nice and bright. I'd like to see it a little bigger. Now, as far as the cons, the only real cons, obviously I'm not a big fan of that little seat movement right there. I need to fix that, but I think I can fix that pretty easy. I would like to see an integrated tail light. I'm being nitpicking here because there's not many cons on this thing. I know it sounds crazy, but for what you get with this bike, I don't see a lot of cons with it. It seems to do everything advertised. Very impressive, has a lot of power. I would like to see a bigger cog set, but once again, it needs to stay in that class 2, class 3 rating. So I get why they don't want to go, a massive cog set in the front, a massive crank in the front, and then make it go too fast. You need to keep it within a good legal limit. But overall, the bike is very good, very well built, was easy to ride. One of the better mountain bikes / e-bikes out there. So yeah, there it is, everybody. Hey, I tell you what, I will leave a link below where you can pick up one of the Mokwheel Obsidians or, any Mokwheel at all. I highly recommend this company. I've been using their bikes, whether it's the Basalt, the Obsidian. I've been very impressed with them. So if you're interested in one of these, go down in the description below and there will be a link, and I will have a code where you can, save a little money on picking up one of these things. But yeah, there it is, everybody. That's all I got on the Mokwheel Obsidian ST. See you all in the next video.